Okay.
A Merry Film Tripmas to you guys.
Damn it, man. Fuck, I was gonna say that.
I said it first.
All right, a Merry Film Tripsmas. Merry Film Fuck.
Merry Film Tripmas.
Film Tripsmas.
Why are you
There we
doing
go.
the
That
Film
was good.
Tripmas? Just say Film Tripmas.
There's an S though.
Why is there an S?
Because it's an ST. It's STMAS.
Yeah, but you're replacing the Christ part for trip. Film Tripmas.
I think there's an S and a T in it.
In Christ, yeah.
It's Christ Mass, isn't it?
We'll see what it says on screen, whether there's an S and a T or not.
Well, that's not fair.
Sam's pick for Film Tripsmas,
That's right, baby.
Gremlins.
In the first overall pick as well.
And my oh my, did I love this movie.
I liked it a lot.
Oh my fucking god.
I didn't think that you would like it.
Same.
I am kind of a sucker for recency bias, as we all know. And dare I say, this is the best movie we've done. Man, like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember a time that I've laughed this hard at a movie in recent memory.
Are you being serious?
Genuinely, like, this was fucking hilarious.
This is a trend right at the beginning of the videos every time. It's like, you introduce it, then you basically say your opinion, and then we're like, oh, I didn't know if you'd like it or not. Every time.
Yeah, it's
We
a
do
classic,
that.
is like whether or not I would like it, yeah.
Right, because didn't you say you wanted to make a segment where we guess if you liked it or not? And then it just, like, didn't translate, so it didn't make the video?
Well, because I thought you guys thought that I wouldn't like School of Rock, and then you guys were like, why wouldn't you like this?
Yeah, because it's a great movie.
I was like, okay, well, fucking stupid segment. Right off the bat, though, we can address kind of... It isn't racism, really, but it is just a blatant stereotype.
Yeah.
The old trope of the old Chinese mystic man.
Yeah.
And then we have his, I think it's his grandson. On IMDb, he is listed as grandfather, and then the kid is just listed as Chinese boy.
No, you're kidding. It's not listed as that.
I swear to God, yeah.
No.
He's basically short round, except without the accent. But the grandfather in this, I thought it was funny how he's this mystic Chinese man with the long beard and the long hair, and then he speaks perfect English with no accent because the actor's from Seattle. And then also Billy's dad comes in, and he looks at this 75-year-old Chinese man with the glass eye, crooked teeth. He hasn't trimmed his hair in 25 years, and he's like, you look like you like to keep up on your grooming. So how would you like to buy this invention, this all-in-one bathroom buddy?
Okay, when he says inventions, I'm glad you brought that up, because when he says inventions, does he mean just worse versions of products that already exist? Because he invented a juicer, a coffee maker, and a Swiss Army knife.
Classic bit of inventor, but doesn't know how to invent.
Yeah.
I think it's also a classic bit of like a father who's an inventor, and then he's kind of a dunce.
Yeah, he's kind of an idiot.
They've always got this unwavering confidence about everything as well, where it's like they haven't made a good product in 40 years, but for
this is
some
the one.
reason they find a way to get out of bed every morning. Like, do you know how depressed I would be?
And that's another thing I like to bring up in this movie is like when they're walking home. What's her name? Kate, yeah. When they're walking home and he's like, they're like talking about Christmas, and he's like, you know, some people don't like Christmas because Christmas is like a bad time of year. And then she says this, she says, when everyone is opening their presents, they're opening their wrists.
Well, everybody else is opening up their presents. They're opening up their wrists.
That was such an aggressive
Jesus.
line. What about the one where she's like,
So-
I don't like Christmas. What are you, Hindu? Like, what the fuck, bro?
And then the reason she doesn't like Christmas because her father, stupid moron, deserves to die. I know it's a joke. It's supposed to be a
I was
joke.
fucking
But
dying
he
at that line.
climbs down the chimney and he breaks his neck. And that's the reason that's the way she found out Santa Claus isn't real. That's like,
I know,
jeez.
that killed me.
That's hard.
Her line is, and that's how I found out there was no Santa Claus.
And that's how I found out there was no Santa Claus.
That's also how you found out your dad died and was rotting in your chimney for the last week.
That's funny. It's
Smoked
like
dad meat in your chimney.
Well, it's basically a parody movie of like old horror movies. You know, those movies like I search up old horror movies and it gives me Hereditary and Train to Busan. Like, okay, and The Lighthouse. Thank you. That's an old horror movie from the last.
It's really old, yeah.
Creature from the Black Lagoon, Bride of Frankenstein. Like those movies that have that, like, if you see the posters, you'll know what I mean. Like that specific art style.
This might be, again, recency bias, the funniest scene I've ever seen in a movie. First, when they...
In the bar?
No. Before that even, when they're caroling...
Yeah, that's when
they
it
go
starts.
From being on top of the TV antenna, they're like, "Ah," and then the next scene, they're all dressed up in clothing and have the pamphlets to sing.
Yeah,
and it's like they go from like to clearly understanding. They clearly understand humor, and they understand the intricacies of putting on clothing. They're very smart. And then you see them in the bar and they're drinking and the girl is serving them like they're real paying customers.
Yeah, like it's like, why didn't you just leave when you first saw them? Just go at the back door. Instead of being like, I don't know what to do, so I guess I'll serve you guys if you want stuff. But don't. And then she just keeps serving him so they don't kill her.
Yeah, once she starts doing it, she's stuck there. She's gotta.
Yeah, you can't serve one beer and be like, all right, guys, my shift's up, and leave.
And you see the one guy. He's clearly doing a bit where he's listening to smooth jazz and he's got the cigarette and the whiskey.
Was the best part.
They're very funny, these guys. And that's the thing, is they clearly understand humor.
Yeah,
they're very
because
smart.
they're doing this stuff. They're doing it to be funny.
She was the only one left in the bar, so that means like probably all of her coworkers like kind of were like, "All right, I gotta get out of here," and she was like, "No, I made an oath that I need to serve every customer that comes to this door," and she stayed.
You know, I actually didn't even remember this at being like this movie. I just remember it specifically because of Gizmo and stuff. But then, yeah, once they did the Christmas caroling, it turned into that. And I was like, oh, yeah, now I remember it. This movie's fucking ridiculous. But it's a good... It's funny. It was the best part of the movie. It was the guy with the fedora in the side of in the back corner of the bar smoking a cigarette. And he's just
we also got one that was dressed up like a robber, and he had a full ski mask on. And
also, it's funny, the leader, Spike, was it?
Stripe?
I
think it was Stripe.
it's like at a prison where you get a guy to become your bitch. You had one of them dress up in a wig and put lipstick on and just sit beside him.
Yeah, because they don't have gender. They fucking osmosis or whatever you call that.
Mitosis, I believe.
Mitosis or whatever the fucks. So that's just the bitch gremlin. Hold my pocket.
It's really funny when you watch movies in the 80s and 90s just to see what their diet is like.
Yeah.
Like every single one, it's a ham and cheese on white bread, a handful of chips, and a can of Coke. And then we get fried chicken, another staple family food.
That's right.
He's got some stray M&Ms.
There's a nice Burger King obvious advertisement in it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The chicken thing that you said, I thought that was kind of funny when he took out like a plate of chicken where it's like, this is probably leftovers, but there's like
fucking
15 chicken wings in there. It's like, who's leaving that much chicken left over? How much chicken did you make?
Uncovered in the fridge.
Oh, yeah. Also, like, with that, there's so many, like, fun visuals to this. Like, when he puts the chicken wings in the box, and it's just, like, a close-up of their faces just, like, mowing the chicken, and it's just grease coming out of their mouth and shit.
So much grease. It was disgusting. Another 90s trope is when people, like, the dialogue, the weird things that nobody would ever say today, like, who's the little kid who's in a bunch of movies?
Is it Corey Feldman? I don't know if
it might be. He's also in like Lost Boys and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's Corey Feldman.
He said G Billy. He's like, G Billy, where can I get one of these?
G Billy, where can I get one of those?
Like, did people ever actually say that?
He's fucked now.
Didn't he get raped by Charlie Sheen? Take that out. But yeah, like why did people ever actually say "Gee, Billy" and like gosh darn it,
Yeah, that is.
honey, I'm home. Oh, gee, Billy, shucksy doodle, where can I get one of those?
Yeah, then they start popping out. He's like, man, don't you find this fucking like what the hell? And he's like, yeah,
dude, I haven't known about that. And then he sits on the fucking
just...
bed like he's seen that. Like,
oh my god,
he's like,
bro,
yeah,
this is the
I
most
guess
incredible thing
cool.
you've ever seen in your life. Ever.
Dude,
you're never gonna see anything like this again.
Nobody asks questions about this thing. They all just accept that it's a pet, a new pet that they've never heard of ever. I think I could name every pet that anyone has ever owned.
And Gremlin's not one of them.
Like, what would you even distinguish this creature as? In what category of species?
I have no idea.
Like, I don't know, like fucking hamster.
Wasn't Gizmo reading a book at some point?
Yes.
I love Gizmo, man. I love.
Gizmo was reading a magazine and he had the 3D glasses on, and Billy's like,
he's like, you like it?
Pretty cool, right, Giz? And he's like, ooh, yeah, it's great, Billy.
Like, Billy, you should be way more amazed with this awesome present that your dad got you.
It's like a mix of a parrot, a monkey, and a chihuahua, maybe.
Yeah.
Would you guys want to have a gremlin?
Oh, of course, yeah. Assuming they were like Gizmo, like, because Gizmo was a real one. He's like, no, thank you, Billy. I don't want that food. It's past midnight. And if he could speak better, he could be like, actually, you don't want to feed them either. I watched Stripes get up and chew that wire.
He is a real one.
He's a real one.
I thought that was really cool because the Chinese boy.
Don't.
He was
that.
Like,
what the fuck?
That's his name. That's his given name in the movie.
Boyle.
Sorry. Yeah.
I'm calling him by his given name. Okay, that's what his parents named him.
He's actually Korean.
Vietnamese, right? No,
right,
that's
sorry.
not the same guy.
Talk about.
No, oh, we did a racism.
No, delete it.
Oh no.
Yeah, delete that.
Oh boy. He said to him, no matter how much they beg, don't feed them after midnight. And then the first time Gizmo is offered food, he doesn't even ask for it. He's offered food after midnight. And the clock doesn't even work. So he's running on an internal
intuition
clock here. He's like, oh, no.
No, thank you. I'm stuffed.
He brushed him off. That was so funny. He's like, no. I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'll be full. Also, the guidelines you have to follow, like, how does this thing survive without water?
Well, clearly they can drink other fluids because they were having beer and not multiplying. So maybe like orange juice and whatnot. Like the dad has a lot of gadgets that can probably keep him alive.
I found the worst one, the feeding after midnight. It's like, okay, so you can't feed them after midnight, but when can you start feeding them again?
Yeah, I was wondering that too. I think it's probably like whenever the sun comes up.
It's also relative as well, because what happens if you travel with them?
What kind of coastal time are we working with? Working with mountain time?
Yeah, are we talking China? Because that's most of our day, probably.
China is on one time zone, actually, across the whole country. So it would make more sense in China, I think.
Oh.
Sam, do you want to do plant hour, plant power? New segment.
I knew you were going to say plant. Yes, where we talk about all the plants in this movie. All good movies have great foliage.
Man, something about these old movies in particular, man.
Great foliage.
There was 3 plants in this that we both have, all 3 of them.
I saw a snake plant.
There was a snake plant, there was a parlor palm, and there was a Chinese money plant.
I have all 3 of those almost in front of me. 2 of those are in front of me.
And there was, at the last battle scene, there was a bunch of macrame hangers.
Yes, I saw that because they were in a nursery.
Those were sick.
Those are sick. I'm looking at one right over here.
The parlor palms were massive too. They were like some good, handsome parlor palms.
Good. Nothing like a good, handsome parlor.
Doyle, what's this plant talk doing for you, buddy?
Anything?
I'm not listening.
We can do misc notes.
Oh, no. What are we going to... miscellaneous jingles?
Oh,
miscellaneous...
right.
Miscellaneous gifts? Miscellaneous gifts? We doing miscellaneous... All right. Miscellaneous gifts. Go.
Who's going to unwrap the first present?
I'll unwrap the first present. Baby Groot, Gizmo, Baby Yoda.
Fuck one, marry one, kill one.
I was about to say that, but I don't want to fuck any of them or marry any of them. So hug, keep, kill.
I would hug Baby Yoda, I would keep Gizmo, and I would kill Baby Groot.
Well, I just depends on the circumstance. If based off of their characters, I couldn't keep Gizmo. I would actually probably have to kill him just because he
Bingo.
causes the most
Problems.
turmoil to anybody. I'd probably keep Baby Yoda and hug Groot because Groot would grow up and he'd just be like Groot, and it's like, okay, cool, you're a
fucking massive
tree.
unit.
And I'm not, and I'm not living in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So what am I gonna need him for? He's not gonna like protect me from intergalactic aliens or some shit. So I don't really give a shit. Yoda would be fun, even though he is also strong, but he stays small.
Your logic is exactly what I was thinking when I posed that question, and that's my order as well.
So there's like a cute dog, and it's like a grungy little mutt, right? Like it's like a cute little mutt, like, but it's all grungy, you know, like hair's all over the place, and it's, you know, it's like your dog, Sam.
Yeah. Thank you for
grungy little rat mutt that you find in a garbage, like a garbage can or something.
I'm gonna tell Murphy you said that.
But it's cute. Like, I like it. I don't like how you didn't take it out. I didn't. You took it out.
Maybe use nicer words. Like, oh, he's just so scruffy,
he's
like a little ragamuffin, instead of he's just a disgusting shore rat that you found in a garbage.
Yeah, looks like you just pulled him out of a landfill.
No, see, I don't see why you're getting offended because it looks cute, anyways. I think it adds character.
No, I agree. It's funny the way you're like saying it.
It's like something you would find in like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they're in the sewers, and then like a dog would come in, disgusting creature. But you're like, oh, this is cute.
And that's your dog, Sam.
But it's like, oh, I wanna save it. That's a type of dog. Your dog looks like a dog that needs saving constantly.
All right, fuck you.
And it's cute because it's like, aw, it needs help.
Okay. Sean, do you want to unwrap a present?
Well, I just did.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll unwrap one here then. I thought it was really funny at the end when the old Chinese grandfather is taking back Gizmo, and he's like, "Oh, Billy, he wants to tell you something," and he opens the thing up, and he's just like, "Hi, Billy," and then shuts it.
Hope you find your dad.
That was all it was. That I was expecting some like heartfelt thing. I thought he was gonna reach out and give him a hug or something, and I thought he was gonna tell him he loved him, and he's just like, "Bye, Billy."
See you, Giz.
How many ounces of whiskey in
Matthew McConaughey's glass? Oh, we never mentioned that gremlin, the coolest gremlin, was the one smoking the cigarette.
How many ounces of whiskey in the cool gremlin's glass?
All right, let's do it.
How many ounces of whiskey, Sam?
I'm going to go 8.5 ounces of whiskey in the cool gremlin's glass.
It's pretty solid. I thought you were going to be in the 9s, to be honest.
No, I'm being in the 9s too much lately. I wanted to tone it down a little bit, and I want to be more realistic with my score.
The genie's at the bottle. It doesn't matter anymore, really.
The genie can stay in the bottle because this could be somebody's first video they're watching, and there's always time for me to regain trust from our audience.
I am going to give this 9.8 ounces of whiskey in the cool gremlin's glass. Why are you laughing? This was like, look, recency bias aside, this is the best movie I've ever watched.
Okay, well, in general, I find Christmas to be repulsive. I find it to be a disgusting part of the year that just breeds family gatherings of hatred and pain and disgust. And I love seeing my family, but I just feel like that's just like, you know, Thanksgiving, you go on Twitter every Thanksgiving and it's like, I just clapped back at my racist aunt and it was so woke. so I just find the holidays in general is depressing. I obviously have a massive bout of seasonal depression every year, and it's the worst time of the year for me. So I hate Christmas. fittingly. Yeah, so when Kate said she didn't like Christmas, I was like, yeah, that's sick. With that just said, it's like, it's a good movie. It's funny. It's just not like anything I would give like higher than like a 7.9.
7.9 what?
7.9 whiskeys, ounces of whiskey, or whatever. Rum could be cool too.
Yeah, whatever he was
Whatever he
drinking. I
likes.
don't know what his choice was. It's a brown liquor.
Whatever the fedora gremlin desires, I'm fine with
Yeah,
it.
he can have whatever he wants.
Oh, of course, he's got a fedora on. He walks in, he runs the room.
Yeah, he commands it.
You got a fedora on in a bar. Here's a pro tip for all the loners out there who want to try to get ladies and stuff in a bar,
Make
try to
friends
hit up
and
ladies.
get laid.
Wear a fedora. It's a lady killer, I'm telling you. It works every time.
And of course,
A
cigarette.
penis.
no, Sean.
What?